the Guishard Stadium in Anguilla as these teams are set to do battle. It'll be the 6th meeting all-time between these nations on a beautiful day here in Anguilla. 90 degrees, no chance of rain, and a breeze as well. Players starting to take the field. Again, 6th meeting all-time, split right down the middle. 2 wins for Anguilla, 2 wins for St. Martin, and 1 draw mixed in there as well. These teams have played relatively recently, more on that in a second. And a reminder of the 3rd team in this group. Again, League C Group A is Bonaire. They sit idly by and watch as St. Martin and Anguilla kick things off here this afternoon. But they will join in short order. These 3 teams have always been in League C. So for the first time, it'll be either Anguilla, Bonaire, or St. Martin gaining promotion into League B when the dust settles on this edition of Nations League. And these 2 nations, again, played recently, March of this year, on March 4th, a 2-2 draw. They scheduled each other as their final friendly tune-up before the final window of the previous edition of Nations League. So some recent history between these 2 nations. They also met in a friendly in 2022. That was a 2-1 win for Anguilla. You have to go further back for their previous meetings of their 5. They played a 2018 friendly. They played a 2010 Concacaf Caribbean qualifier, and same tournament back in 2001. But recently, a couple of friendlies, and they do battle again today in Nations League. Anguilla comes in ranked 39th in the Concacaf rankings and 207th in the FIFA World Rankings. They were placed in League C Pot 3 when the draw was conducted. St. Martin, the Pot 2 team in League C in this group. 38th in the CONCACAF rankings, not eligible for the FIFA World Rankings. And their recent histories in Nations League have sort of mirrored each other. Anguilla in the inaugural edition finished in 3rd place in a group with Guatemala and Puerto Rico. They lost all 4 of their matches on that occasion. St. Martin in the 2019-2020 edition, they were in 3rd place of their group as well, with Barbados, Cayman Islands, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. They did have 3 wins and 3 losses in the only 4-team group of League C in the inaugural edition, but nevertheless, both sides remained in League C for the 2nd edition of this tournament, and they both went 0-2-2. Anguilla in League C, Group C with St. Lucia and Dominica. St. Martin in League C, Group B with St. Kitts and Nevis and Aruba. But they arrived at the same 0-2-2 records, remained in League C in this now newly revamped format for CONCACAF Nations League. Here in League C, limited to just 9 teams, split into 3 groups of 3. And from there, group winners will all be promoted to League B. So either Bonaire, Anguilla, or St. Martin will gain promotion to League B for the first time. And it all starts right here as the teams are set to take the field. Anthems and kick on the way. getting set to meet the starting 11s for both Anguilla and St. Martin here from Raymond Guishard Stadium in Anguilla. Two teams meeting for the 6th time all-time and the first ever meeting between them in Nations League. Anguilla coming in, ready to turn a new leaf here to a younger generation of players, and the starting 11 will reflect that for them today. 6 players in the 11 for Anguilla are teenagers with a combined 5 caps for their country. The biggest debut among them, the one they're maybe most excited about, is Mackay Connor, the 15-year-old, has 12 goals in 15 games with his club team Roaring Lions in 2023. And back in April, he took Anguilla's U15 boys team to a sub-regional tournament against the U.S. Virgin Islands and the British Virgin Islands, and they lifted the trophy. So all eyes on the debutant Mackay Connor, 15 years of age today for Anguilla. The referees, the Mexican crew led by Fernando Hernandez, Christian Espinoza, Sandra Ramirez, the assistant referees, and Katia Garcia is your 4th official as the captains are set to meet for the coin toss. Kyan Duncan for Anguilla and Kevin Zonzon for St. Martin. And Duncan, 9 caps since his debut in March of 2021. Started all 4 matches in the last edition of Nations League for Anguilla, wearing the captain's armband today. And Kevin Zonzon, 7 caps for St. Martin since he debuted in Nations League back in October of 2019. This is his 8th cap and his 6th time wearing the captain's armband for his country. And the starting 11 for St. Martin. So while it's a youth movement on the other side for Anguilla, Stefan Ovray has a lot of new players, but it's not quite a youth movement. A lot of dual nats who are making their debuts today. 6 debuts in all of mostly older dual national players. Keelan Laban is the star among the group. The 26-year-old plays professionally in Azerbaijan, and he's coming off a stellar campaign with Neftchi Baku. 28 appearances, 5 goals, 4 assists, and he was a starter for them in UEFA Conference League qualifying. They were eliminated by Besiktas in the quarterfinals, but he had a goal and an assist to his name. So Keelan Laban making his debut for St. Martin, who are in the blue from left to right, Anguilla in the orange from right to left. And we are underway. The 3rd edition of Concacaf Nations League begins here in Anguilla as St. Martin visits Anguilla. Happy to have you with us. The 2023-2024 edition begins now. New format all around. In League A, an increase from 12 teams to 16. And among that, a different breakdown. 2 groups of 6. Top 4 teams. United States, Costa Rica, Canada, and Mexico all waiting with byes through to the quarterfinals. And in League B, unchanged, still 16 teams. League C got a little bit smaller this time, down to 9 teams, rather than 12. There was no relegation in the last edition of this tournament, only promotion. But promotion and relegation return as normal for this tournament. If you're in League A, you're gunning to make the quarters because from there you can qualify for Copa America. Everybody else hoping for promotion because of what the Gold Cup implications will be, not in this tournament, but in the next tournament, the 2024-2025 edition of Nations League, serving as Gold Cup qualification. And the higher league you're in, the better chance you have in terms of your different possible pathways through to a Gold Cup. So Anguilla, St. Martin, and Bonaire here in League C Group A, all gunning for promotion to League B. And none of the 3 nations have ever been a part of League B. Early attack here for St. Martin, whipped in and gathered by Jelani Lawrence. Wilfred Dalma up and down that right wing. Oldest player you'll see on the field, 41-year-old, making his 10th appearance for St. Martin. Dalma, the most well-traveled as well, wearing the number 10 in blue. Spent time in the first tiers of Italy, Spain, France, Belgium, and Turkey in his career. Played in Serie A, La Liga, Super Pro League, and that top tier of Belgium is where he spent most of his time. Dalma, 140 appearances, 20 goals, 23 assists. He's semi-retired now from the club level. still deploying his talent here at the national team level for St. Martin. On the left side, Axel Raga, one of the debut players for St. Martin. End line, looking for Dalma, top of the box, and cleared. Comes down for Malcolm Babel. Played centrally, it hops up. Dalma finds it. Chevalier looking for Axel Raga. Back out for Dalma. There's the freedom to roam right and left for St. Martin. And it's a throw for the visitors. Dalma. Play on, says the referee. Advantage for St. Martin. Cross sent in. The header is saved by Lawrence. Rebound ricochets out of play for a goal kick. Romain Lacazette, the chance coming through for St. Martin. Another debut player, was capped at various youth levels for France. Lacazette, the 29-year-old now. 14 appearances and 3 goals this past year in the Austrian 4th Division. Prior to that, some experience in the 2nd Bundesliga of Germany with TSV 1860 Munich. 49 games he played in the 2nd tier of Germany. Lacazette wearing the number 8 in the midfield for St. Martin. This one won by Segarel. Fleming back for Lawrence. Gets it away before the pressure arrives. Ball has remained in this half of the field for much of this game so far. Segarel. Trying to look through for Babel. Intercepted. And now Anguilla can alleviate some of the pressure. Mackay Connor knocked down. Number 9 for Anguilla. That's again the one to watch. The 15-year-old, 12 goals in 15 games for his club team in Anguilla this past year. And led the U15 boys team to a trophy in the sub-regional tournament in April against the U.S. Virgin Islands and the British Virgin Islands. Two nations who have come so far since the inaugural edition of Nations League in 2019, and even further back when qualifying began in 2018. In that regard, this tournament has served its purpose. All the nations have raised their levels. It's split through for Axel Raga, cutting to his right, has some space. Raga pokes it through, and the opening goal of the 3rd edition of Nations League belongs to St. Martin. Axel Raga, in his debut for this country, that's his first goal. It's going to be interesting to see how these teams matched up. Rankings can only tell you so much, considering the roster turnover we've seen from both of these nations in different regards. And early on, it's all going St. Martin's way. Anguilla ranked 39th, St. Martin just ahead of them 38th, but 6 debuting dual national team players for St. Martin, or dual nats, excuse me, who could have played for a variety of other nations, some capped at youth levels for France. Raga among them, now committing to and playing for St. Martin. Meanwhile, Anguilla giving a look to a lot of teenagers. 6 of them will have a combined 5 caps. They turn a new leaf. St. Martin bolster the lineup. Early on, the visitors ahead 1-0. This Nations League for St. Martin could be the start of something more. Their ultimate goal would be qualifying for the Gold Cup. They've never qualified for a Gold Cup. And for this last edition, where you saw the likes of Martinique and Guadeloupe and some other French auxiliary nations within Concacaf get to the Gold Cup and post some positive results in the Gold Cup. St. Martin wants to be next. They've never been to one. They can't qualify for one from this tournament, but they could put themselves in a better position by gaining promotion to possibly do just that. Here's Raga again. Their head coach knows a thing or two about the Gold Cup. Stefan Olvray, coaching this St. Martin side, played for Guadeloupe from 2007 to 2012. And that Guadeloupe team in 2007 that he was a part of at the Gold Cup made that Cinderella run to the semifinal before they were eliminated by Mexico. Now coaching this St. Martin side, hoping that maybe 2 years from now they could be in a similar position. From the corner, it's snagged by Jelani Lawrence. Third cap for Anguilla for the goalkeeper. 40-year-old in goal. Debuted last February in a friendly against St. Martin, and he made his Nations League debut earlier this year against St. Lucia. Possession here now for Anguilla. Alexander Fleming ahead through to Connor. Mackay Connor couldn't get there. All the way back for Lawrence. Pressure from Dalma. Right back for Lawrence. Willa struggling to get it out of their own half. Possession 65-35 in favor of St. Martin. And much of that possession, sinister possession in the attacking half as they win it back again here. Dumas. Babel, back for Dumas. David Chevalier left it short of Babel. Kane Connor making his debut for Anguilla, able to get it further ahead in the neighborhood of Jared Smines, but not quite. Smines, another 16-year-old, making his third appearance here. His Nations League debut came earlier this year against St. Lucia, 21 minutes off the bench in that finale. So Anguilla was already starting to look ahead back then, turning this new leaf to a younger group of players. Dumas. Down to the corner for Babel. Turns end line beyond Keontae Brooks' delivery headed clear. Raga was lurking with one goal already. Not much going on recently for Anguilla. Their last match was that Nations League finale against St. Lucia back on March 24th. So this is the first time in nearly 6 months they've taken the field together in any sort of senior capacity. They again had some of those junior tournaments where some of these players had played together and started to build some of that chemistry that they hope to bring down to the senior level. Similar story for St. Martin. Not much action yet in 2023. St. Martin played a friendly to begin the year in January against Trinidad and Tobago. They fell 2-0. They They had the 2-2 draw against Anguilla back in March, and then their Nations League finale against St. Kitts and Nevis. So both these teams idle for the last 5.5 months. Their schedules, though, will ramp up a bit now in the fall with the advent of the 3rd edition of Nations League. Played through for Babel. Gets the service in. Lawrence takes it away. Not a bad service from Babel, looking for Segarel. St. Martin will host Bonaire 4 days from now, close out the September window. And in October, they will host Anguilla. And in November, they'll wrap things up on the road against Bonaire. September, October, November, the windows of play in the group stage. And then come March, we'll move on to the quarters and eventually final in the League A level. Over the top for Babel. Did take a deflection, corner coming. An edition of Nations League overall, but the first on the desired schedule. The inaugural edition was spread out because of COVID, and second edition was spread out because of the World Cup that happened in between in Qatar last year. And this one as intended. 3 windows in the fall, come back and play the finals in the spring. And we'll start again next fall with the 4th edition. Short from the corner, it's LeBon. Keelan LeBon delivers in the middle, and it's cleared. Haven't seen much of LeBon on the ball yet. Based on the global website transfer market, LeBon is the most valuable player in the lineup for St. Martin. Market value of nearly $500,000. Just recently signed with FC Baku in Azerbaijan. See if Anguilla can get something going here in the attacking half. Haven't seen much of the ball. On that right wing, it's Connor pressuring. And out for a goal kick. The 15-year-old Mackay Connor not shying away. This is Anguilla's only match of this September window. They'll double up in the October window. It's taken wide by Segarel. October, they will host Bonaire and visit St. Martin. And then wrap things up against Bonaire in November. This Anguilla's 1 game of the September window. 3 teams in this group. So 1 team always idle on a given match day. Taken away on the backside after the ball in from Dalma. It's worked clear by Luke Paris. Free kick coming for St. Martin. Last Nations League, St. Martin was in with St. Kitts and Nevis and Aruba. They drew both home matches against St. Kitts and Nevis and Aruba and lost both road games. Alma. Work to the end line, some bodies in front, a cutback ball. Nobody making that trailing run, now settled by Babel. Babel tries from distance, an awkward hop at the end, and Lawrence keeps it out. Anguilla was grouped in with Dominica and St. Lucia last time. They drew both matches against Dominica, lost both against St. Lucia. So Both these nations 0-2-2 in the last edition of this tournament. Both remaining in League C. No matter how it turns out, we're going to have a first. Bonaire, St. Martin, Anguilla have all only ever partaken in this tournament through League C. One of the three guaranteed promotion. For one of these nations, it'll be a first ever promotion to League B. Bonaire, the Pot 1 team in this group, they were the closest to advancing in the last edition of League C up to League B. For Bonaire, it actually came down to the last match day. Sent in by Dalma, grabbed by Lawrence. St. Martin ended up winning Group A of League C in the last edition. Earned that League B promotion. Bonaire was 1 point short on the last day. Some drama at the end, otherwise they would have been promoted. Instead now in this group with St. Martin and Anguilla. Over both these nations, Bonaire on paper is the team to beat. Anguilla maybe looking more toward the future. St. Martin built for the now. What a collision there down the right side. No foul was called. It is going to just be a throw, it appears, for Anguilla. And that's again the 15-year-old Mackay Connor driving through, not backing down. Second time we've seen him go full force into a 50-50 ball like that. He did slip at the end. That's just bad luck and good refereeing. There was no foul there. Dalma. Babel. Welcome Babel. Pushes it ahead for Segarel. The offside flag came up on the striker. Babel tried for Jared Smines down the left wing. Segarel has his head up, looks for options, cuts it back. The ball, Lacazette, and pushes it wide. Lacazette, 29-year-old, debuting for St. Martin today. Kept at various youth levels for France. Again, one of 6 players debuting for St. Martin today. 5 of those 6 dual nats who have finally committed to playing for St. Martin. The 6th of the debut players is Jalen Segur, a young defender, 22, played at youth levels for St. Martin. Picked up by Raga, and Raga commits the foul. Pulls down Kane Connor. Raga's goal back in the 6th minute, the lone tally so far. No question about that. Dumas hasn't had much work to do as the operating center back for St. Martin so far. Help start this attack from the back. It's Raga. Ready to head now from Raga to Le Bon and stopped by Lawrence. Once those two start to get on the same page more, be a dangerous dynamic combination. Raga and Le Bon. Both debuting here today for St. Martin. Raga doing so with a goal. Given away. Here's Dalma with some options, pushes it through. Segarel makes it 2 for St. Martin. Off the giveaway at the back by Anguilla. St. Martin punishes, and they're ahead by 2. Axel Raga in the 6th minute. Stanley Segarel in the 25th. 2 debutants for St. Martin and a goal each in their respective debuts. Never too early to start thinking about the overall group standing. Ahead 2-0 this early, clearly seeming to have the upper hand overall. This might be one where St. Martin does everything in their power to try and run the score up a little bit, not out of disrespect or trying to take advantage of Anguilla, but just knowing that Bonaire lurks as the highest ranked team in this group. And when it comes down to it, only one of these teams is getting promoted to League B. Goal differential could come into play. St. Martin, you want to maybe have that upper hand in that regard on Bonaire. Make the most of this one if you can. A much older, more experienced St. Martin team. Players who have played at some of the highest levels, Europa League, UEFA Conference League. On the other side, Anguilla, a roster completely comprised of younger players, almost all domestic-based. A couple play in some of the lower tiers of England. Kyan Duncan, the captain. Kane Connor, the 19-year-old. Outside of that, everybody based in Anguilla. 6 teenagers in the 11 with 5 combined caps among them. So on paper, an experience mismatch between these teams. Showing on the scoreboard, St. Martin ahead 2-0. Certainly would like more. First corner, though, now for Anguilla. And it's grabbed by Jordan Etienne. First time he's had to touch the ball so far. St. Martin wants to break off the defensive set piece. Dalma, the vision to find the through ball for Dumas. Dumas' ball across, left more to be desired. Kept alive by Le Bon. St. Martin, remember, did have 3 wins in their inaugural Nations League campaign in the 2019-2020 edition. They beat Barbados, Cayman Islands, and U.S. Virgin Islands. On the home games, lost 2 on the road games, went 3 wins, 3 losses, and a yellow card here. Given to Kevin Zonzon, the captain. this 90-degree day here in Anguilla. This will take us into our cooling break in the first half. A 2-0 lead for St. Martin at this checkpoint in the match. Goals scored by Axel Raga and Stanley Segarel, both debuting today for St. Martin, and both punctuating their debuts with a goal each. Some of the rule changes, or the format changes rather, in this edition of Nations League. Well, we have the time. League A increased from 12 teams to 16, divided into a pair of 6-team groups. From there, the top 2 in each of those groups will go through and meet the 4 pre-seeded teams. 4 highest ranked teams: Mexico, the US, Costa Rica, and Canada. Based on the Concacaf rankings, all in the quarterfinals already. The top 2 teams in each of the 2 groups in League A will go on to the quarterfinals. The winners of the 4 quarterfinal matches will qualify for the Copa America. The 4 losers then will pair off into a pair of play-in games. 6 allocated CONCACAF spots in the upcoming edition of Copa America, hosted in the United States. In League B, unchanged, 16 teams, just as the last 2 editions. There was no relegation, though, from the last tournament. The new teams came into League B, all promoted from League C, as League C was reduced to 9 teams and split into 3 groups of 3, rather than the previous 4 groups. Promoted League A teams included Haiti, Guatemala, Cuba, and Trinidad and Tobago. Promoted League B teams include St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, Puerto Rico, and Sint Maarten. As the day goes along and as the week goes along, we'll hammer home some of the new changes to Nations League. This is your first match on the first day of play. And a great start it's been so far for the visitors, St. Martin. Happy to have you with us this late afternoon from Anguilla at Raymond E. Guishard Stadium. Joe Malfa with you for the action. Half an hour in, it's St. Martin 2, Anguilla 0. And St. Martin is looking for more already. Segarel. Lebon. That's it underneath. Dylan Lebon. Babel bent his run, flag stayed down. Seemed like he thought he'd be offside, but he did just barely time it right. Segarel. Segarel's pressure wins it back. Looking for an option. Take it in here by St. Martin, put to the back post. Nobody there. Dalma feeds in front and an own goal. All created by their main man, Wilfred Dalma, the 41-year-old. He had the assist on the second goal. Puts this dangerous ball in front that leads to the own goal. And St. Martin leads by 3. Lebon helped create it. And just good thinking here from Dalma. It's off the defender. Let's see if they might actually credit Raga with the goal here. Did he get a touch to it right here? He did. Oh, he'll get credit for that goal, Axel Raga. Slightest touch, and maybe that's what threw off the defender, Javis Jones. Ends up in his own net. But Raga did get a slight touch to it to direct it toward goal. So Axel Raga will claim his second goal of the day in his debut for St. Martin. And it's 3-0 to the visiting side. Anguilla's eyes more on the future. You can see it in the decisions to play. A pair of 16-year-olds, a 15-year-old, two 18-year-olds, a 19-year-old. Very young team starting to look toward the future. Again, coming off an April in which the U15 team won a sub-regional tournament here. They are the 39th ranked team in Concacaf. And on the FIFA World Ranking list, you'll see 208 nations. They are 207th among them, second from the bottom. It's a project that they're trying to turn things around and looking to the youth for that. And again, recent youth success gives them that hope. And matches like this here in Nations League serve the purpose of giving these young players that valuable experience that will only benefit them in the long run. And with that, you're going to take some lumps on days like this, down 3-0 in the first half against St. Martin. Just hope you're all the better for it down the line. We've already seen it in Nations League, whether it's Puerto Rico from 4 years ago, a team that was sort of meandering about the bottom of League C, now in League B, or Guatemala, that was also in that same group, actually. Remember, it was Guatemala, it was Puerto Rico, it was Anguilla in 2019. Now Guatemala's gone from League C all the way up to League A. So over the last few years, we've seen teams able to help develop the youth a bit more and start generating brighter futures for their national team. And Will is taking those first steps here by playing the youth. It did not look so pretty at the beginning. But fast forward to the October window and the November window, and fast forward a year from now when we begin the 4th edition of Nations League. It will only continue to improve, you'd imagine, especially with such positive early signs coming from the U15s just this past spring. Raga with 2 goals already. And one back by Luke Paris. 10 to play here in half number 1. St. Martin ahead by 3. Segarel with a goal. Raga with 2. Here's Fleming. 5 shots for St. Martin, none for Anguilla, and 65% of the possession has gone St. Martin's way. Raga touches it back for Lacazette. Dalma. Levon. All the way back for Zonzon. Chevalier. Slipping it through. Babel takes it to the end line. Babel goes for a goal. Not a bad effort. Rises over the bar. His teammates in front were hoping for a cross, a smile on his face as he jogs back up the field. He knows he struck it well, but almost too well. Tried to surprise Lawrence at the near post, looking upstairs. I'll tell you what, if that was about a foot lower, Lawrence had no chance at it with the pace it had. He stood there frozen watching. Duncan. Over the top for Connor. Taken back by Babel. Played through. Chance for St. Martin to make it 4 at the end line. Fed in front, and there is the 4th for St. Martin. It's a first half hat trick for Axel Raga in his debut for his country.
Ladies and gentlemen, goal for Team St. Martin scored by player number 7, Axel Raga, in the 38th minute.
Axel Raga, 25 matches, 11 goals this past year in the 5th division of France. Got some looks for France at the youth national team level. Now at 26 has decided to play for St. Martin. Everybody involved for St. Martin has to be grinning ear to ear that he made this choice. 3 goals here in his debut. Let this be a little bit of a warning to Bonaire as well, who came in as the highest ranked team in this group, sitting back, watching this affair today. We'll take on St. Martin in 4 days' time. This is a different St. Martin team. Bonaire narrowly missed promotion from League C to League B back in the spring. Figured maybe it'd be their time. Drawn into a group like this with 2 of the lower ranked teams in the region. Anguilla 39th, St. Martin 38th. That's out of 41 teams. It doesn't look like it's going to be so easy for Bonaire if St. Martin has anything to say about it. And certainly they will. Now the question is, how high can they raise this tally today to help their own goal differential? Babel rolls it ahead. It's Raga again in alone. Raga with 4 in the first half. St. Martin has 5. He has 4 to his own name. What an opening match this has been for St. Martin. Unveiling a new look team with 6 debuting players today, 5 of them dual nats, 1 a young, bright 22-year-old. And this new look team is proving something that will be reckoned with here in League C. Sub coming here on the Anguilla side. Delani Francis will come on for Keontae Brooks.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, substitution for Team Anguilla in the 41st minute, leaving the game player number 6, Keontae Brooks.
As they start going to the bench, Anguilla, it's more of the same theme that we see in the starting 11. Looking to the future, younger players. Most of them will be making their debuts. Delani Francis comes on, the 17-year-old. This is just his 2nd cap for Anguilla. And it's his debut in Nations League. You look further up and down the bench of Anguilla. You have 4 more teenagers. And 5 more players who, if they get in, it would be their national team debut. They have completely turned this new leaf to the new generation. So again, with that will come results like this. The youngest player out there for St. Martin is 22-year-old Jalen Segur. And if you take him out of the equation, the youngest player out there is 26 for St. Martin. A very veteran, experienced side. And then again, on the other side for Anguilla, 6 teenagers in the starting 11. And they just subbed one for another. Keontae Brooks, the 16-year-old, out. Delani Francis, the 17-year-old, in. Slip through toward LeBon. Cleared by Lawrence before Babel gets there. Here's Kane Connor. Give and go with Jamal Richardson. Richardson, one of the experienced players, 29-year-old, who debuted back in 2018 for Anguilla. Offside against St. Martin. 90 seconds plus stoppage time remaining in half number one. A half that has belonged to St. Martin, and furthermore has belonged to Axel Raga, who has scored 4 of their 5 goals. Dalma takes an awkward spill. Only back for Lawrence, but the whistle blows. Dalma goes into the challenge here with Jared Smines. Quite the age gap there. Dalma 41, Smines 16. Dalma's professional career began in 2000. Smines was 7 years from being born. Two minutes tacked on here at the end of half number one.
The fourth official on the sideline has indicated that there will be a minimum of 2 minutes of added time.
A lot to think over at the break for Anguilla. You know you take your lumps as a younger team looking to the new generation, but you still don't want to be run off the pitch entirely. You want to try to hold your own, try to build something positive. In the first half where they've only seen 35% of the ball and haven't yet taken a shot. How can you improve in the second half to salvage something from this game? Maybe it's a moment of brilliance like this from Connor. Mackay Connor trickling toward the line, but wide. Those are the moments you look for if you're Anguilla. Kane Connor, the 19-year-old, to Mackay Connor, the 15-year-old. And on his debut, the 15-year-old nearly nets his first goal, robbed by Jordan Etienne. And we see more of that in the second half. This first half is done and dusted, but can you win the second half? Can you build something positive going into your next game to give this young team some confidence? From the corner, headed wide, out for a goal kick. But that moment right there is exactly what those around the Anguilla Football Association are hoping to see. Mackay Connor, their bright young star, 12 goals in 15 matches for his club team here in Anguilla this season. Took the U15 boys team to a sub-regional trophy over the U.S. Virgin Islands and British Virgin Islands back at the end of April. It's his full national team debut today. And nearly comes away with his first goal. Something to build on going into the second half. Waiting for the whistle now, there it is. St. Martin 5, Anguilla 0. Into half number two, St. Martin will look to continue its dominance, and Anguilla will look to build on the moment of positivity they saw there at the very end. It's 5-0 St. Martin here in the opening match of the third edition of Concacaf Nations League.
Qatar Airways is proud to be the official airline partner of the Concacaf Nations League. Fly to over 160 destinations worldwide with one of the world's best airlines and enjoy a seamless and effortless travel experience. Be the first to watch the highlights of this game in our official YouTube
for from this very young side. The 19-year-old Kane finding the 15-year-old Mackay. Let's see if the youth can build upon the first 45 and create more positivity in the second half after growing in the late stages of the first half. Meanwhile, St. Martin undoubtedly will be looking to score more and tack on to the potential goal difference, as it may matter later on. Bonaire, the third team in this group, the highest ranked team in this group. Goal differential could certainly come into play in that regard. Another sub here on the way for Anguilla. That'll be all for Jamal Richardson. He's replaced by Richard McDonald-Baptiste, another 16-year-old making his debut for Anguilla. Replaces the 29-year-old Richardson. So they were already young. They got 13 years younger. 29-year-old off, another 16-year-old on, making his debut.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Substitution for Team Anguilla in the 45th minute. Leaving the game, number 13, Jamal Richardson. Entering the game, player number 7, Richard McDonald-Baptiste.
Just waiting for the okay to begin half number 2. St. Martin ahead 5-0. Opening match of this third edition of Nations League, taking place here in League C, Group A. Some more action beginning at the 6 p.m. Eastern Time hour. Sint Maarten, St. Lucia in League B, Trinidad and Tobago and Curacao in League A, and then more throughout the night as well. And we're underway now in half number 2. Joe Malfa with you for the action from Raymond Guishard Stadium in Anguilla, where the host side trails St. Martin 5-0 in League C, Group A. Some of the other matches to keep an eye on later throughout the evening. Guadalupe against St. Kitts and Nevis in League B. Panama, Martinique, and Guatemala, El Salvador in League A. And the other match of the day in League C, as the offside flag comes up here at Naraga. But the other match of the day in League C will be contested between U.S. Virgin Islands and the Cayman Islands. Free kick on the way for Anguilla, drawn by Kane Connor. 19-year-old plays in the lower divisions of England, Kane Connor, making his debut for Anguilla. Quickly taken ahead toward McDonald-Baptiste. Rolled back for Jalen Segor. Now Axel Raga. It's fed through for Smines. Jared Smines leaves it now for McDonald-Baptiste. The first 2 minutes of this second half seem to indicate maybe Anguilla did find something to build on at the end of that first half. Some good quick build-up play through the lines.
One push.
Segor. Ahead, it's Babel. He had an assist in the first half. Babel looking to center it. Trickles over the line and out for a corner. Dalma's corner, flicked on by Raga, and out for a goal kick. All the way back to the goalkeeper Etienne, who had to make one big save in that first half. And he took it well. Etienne for Duma. Babel. This is Segarel and gives it away.
Come on, let's go.
Neighboring islands in the Caribbean, Anguilla, St. Martin. Played friendly earlier this year in March, a 2-2 draw. But the roster is significantly different now than they were then. If someone were to look at that 2-2 draw from less than 6 months ago and see this result, it'd be pretty jarring. You peel the onion one layer further back and you'll see all the youth out there for Anguilla, all the new players in the mix now for St. Martin. Here they go again. A 2v1 here, and it's well defended in the end. The crowd loves that from Javis Jones. So does his goalkeeper. Staring down the barrel of Keelan Levon with the cutback option for Axel Raga. And the 18-year-old Jones, in just his second appearance for Anguilla, holds strong, stands his ground, and it's out for a corner. Little moments like that within the match for a young team. That's what you look for. Eight total teenagers have graced the field so far for Anguilla. 7 are out there right now. Chevalier handed away by Paris. Now Jones back for Connor. Mines plays it off of the defender. Cazette out for a throw. Free kick for Anguilla. First sub of the match coming now for St. Martin. Sebastian Selena will come on for Melanie Dumas.
Melanie Dumas entering the game, player number 5, Sebastian
Selena, 38-year-old, making his 5th appearance. Paris. Foul called against Lacazette again. Travis Jones. Looking for Connor. Taken back by Zonzon. He has the lone yellow card of the match. Remember, the captain for St. Martin, Zonzon. Here he is again. Nice ball up the right sideline for Malcolm Babel. Long for Mackay Connor. For Etienne. Hitting a bit of a lull, neither side generating any chances these last few minutes. More possession, though, in this second half for Anguilla. Something to be proud of after not seeing much of the ball in the first. Up possession to the tune of nearly 70-30. 10 minutes into the second half. Working it side to side, front to back, through the lines. Progress in each game has to be the goal here for Anguilla. With such youth through the ranks. For St. Martin, winning the goal in each game, especially when you have a game like this, by as many goals as possible. Because, you know, Bonaire is sitting back, watching this, and waiting their turn to get their own crack at Anguilla. Goal difference may come into play. Can they get another one here? It's saved by Lawrence. LeBomb. Dalma. Dances through two defenders, feeds Babel. A heavy touch ahead, though, from Babel. And what seemed promising has not come to an end on that attack. They had the numbers. A 5v2, depending on where you want to draw the lines of the players who were actually involved in that motion forward. Just outside his area. Etienne had to chest it down, bring it back in. Segor. Good ball over the top. It falls through for Segarelli's taken down. What color is the card and where was the contact initiated? It seems like the call is for a penalty. And it is. Contact was right there toward the edge, and now Fernando Hernandez, the referee, is conferring with his assistant referee. Maybe the mind will be changed here. He seemed uncertain at first. He ran to the edge of the area and did not give any sort of indication just quite yet as to whether it be a direct free kick or a penalty. Contact again right at the edge of the area. We understand with the glare of the sun, it's tough to tell at home where that line is. And it does appear as if The assistant referee talked our center referee, Fernando Hernandez, into a free kick instead of a penalty. He did. Still no card shown. Figure at least the yellow might have been yielded there. And even an argument for dog so. And a red if you're St. Martin. It appears as if no card. Oh, there's the yellow at the tail end for Delaney Francis. St. Martin would have been hoping for a red and a penalty. Instead, it's a yellow and a direct free kick just outside the area. Wilfred Dalma stands over it. Stanley Segarel, number 9, over for a look as well. Now David Chevalier, number 14, comes over. 4, now 5 standing in the wall, 1 laying beneath it. Dalma with 2 assists already. Can he get a goal of his own if he's the one to strike this free kick? It looks like it will be. Dalma over the bar. That ended up being the worst possible outcome for St. Martin. A free kick instead of a penalty, a yellow card instead of a red, and a free kick so close to the 18 where you almost have no time to get this over the wall and under the bar. They'll live with the 5-0 lead they still have. They're going to make a change, it appears. A couple of them. It's Dalma's last involvement, that free kick. Leban also coming off. And now to Segarel.
Entering the game, player number 18, Ernie Chance. Leaving the game, player number 11, Keelan Hall. Entering the game, player number 19, Yannick Belchas. Leaving the game, player number 9, Stanley Segarel. Entering the game, player number 12, Jeremy Peterson.
Jeremy Peterson, Ernie Chance, Yannick Belchas, the 3 players who came on for St. Martin. So Dalma, 41-year-old, left with 2 assists. Leban looked strong in this one, and Segarel, in his debut, left with his first goal. At the time, made it 2-0. Player down, 2 of them in the center of the park here for Anguilla. One being Mackay Connor, the other being Kane Connor. The 2 who connected for Anguilla's best chance of the day back in the first half. Still their only shot on target. Yannick Belchas coming off the bench for St. Martin. Makes his 22nd appearance. He has 5 goals and 4 of them came in Nations League. Here's a look at Connor went down. For Carney Chance, it's his 5th appearance for St. Martin. And Jeremy Peterson, who was the 3rd of the subs, the 25-year-old, will come on and make his 3rd appearance. Currently based in the United States collegiately at Rider University. And he just made his debut earlier this year in a friendly. So some new faces and some old for St. Martin just coming on at that last triple sub. Braga. In some ways, you can imagine St. Martin have taken the foot off the throttle with a 5-0 lead, but you can't attribute a tighter second half entirely to that because Anguilla has certainly looked better and seen more of the ball. St. Martin has every incentive to try and score more without taking their foot off the gas because of the role goal difference can play. Played over the top, the offside flag did come up. And the attack dead. Tony Chance was the player up this left side who was a bit overeager. Turn, it's Duncan. Luke Paris has had a steady game at center back. One of a few aerials that have come his way, been common possession like this, building from the back. 20 minutes come and gone in this second half, a scoreline that remained unchanged from the 5-0 we saw through 45. Joe Malfa with you from Raymond Guishard Stadium in Anguilla as the host nation trails St. Martin here in the opening match of League C Group A play and the opening match of the 2023-2024 Concacaf Nations League overall. Jalen Segor hasn't had a lot of work to do, the 22-year-old on this left side here in his debut. Again, 6 debutants for St. Martin, 5 dual nats now committed to St. Martin, 1 being Segor, the 22-year-old, up the right wing for Babel. Dribbling it in the own 18, not wise from McDonald Baptiste and given away. Chevalier. And a free kick coming for St. Martin. Quickly taken free kick. Raga weaving through. Cleared. Change being readied for Anguilla, and this is the last thing you want to see. Mackay Connor, all eyes were on him today. The 15-year-old making his debut. He had a great look at goal. It was denied by a terrific save from Jordan Etienne at the end of the first half. Stretcher out for him. He'll be helped to his feet instead by Luke Paris. Doesn't look like he'll be able to continue. And it's Defari Francis who's up and ready, presumably to sub on for Mackay Connor. This is how his debut ends. What a positive debut it was. Showed every bit of the talent that has them excited about his future and Anguilla's future. Again, just 5 months removed from helping the U15 boys for Anguilla win a sub-regional tournament against British Virgin Islands and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And he has 12 goals in 15 games for his club this year. Now replaced by Defari Francis.
Your attention please, ladies and gentlemen. Substitution for Team Anguilla in the 69th minute. Leaving the game, player number 9.
Defari Francis becomes the 9th teenager used overall in this game by Anguilla. 7 currently on the field, 9 used overall. And a corner for St. Martin. From the corner, the header makes it 6 for St. Martin. Perfectly placed from the corner. Not much that the goalkeeper, Jelani Lawrence, could do about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, goal for Team St. Martin, called by player number 8. Raymond in the 71st minute.
Raymond Lacazette was the player in the middle of that group who headed it home. Lacazette, another player making his debut today for St. Martin. So all 6 goals now have been scored by players debuting for dual nationals, played youth for France. Now with St. Martin, a completely different side than the one who went 0-2-2 in the Last Nations League. They remain in League C. They seem poised to threaten for the top spot of League C Group A with Bonaire. Off to a flying start. And they're going to get their first true test against Bonaire in short order. That match coming 4 days from now. St. Martin hosting Bonaire. In the October window, St. Martin will be the team that plays just 1 game. They'll meet Anguilla, and Anguilla will take on Bonaire. And then in November, they'll take on Bonaire. Standalone game as well. They get their double match week out of the way here at the beginning. Here's a look again at that corner. Lacazette just powered his way through and powered it home. A well-taken corner by Yannick Belchase. Who had just come on as a sub not all that long ago. Duncan back for Paris. And now Jones. Here's our cooling break in half number 2. Goal scoring started in the 6th minute. Axelraga netted his first. 20 minutes later, Stanley Segarel made it 2. He only had to wait 7 more minutes before Axelraga made it 3. And then he scored again 6 minutes after that, 2 minutes after that. 3 goals in 8 minutes for Axelraga between the 32nd and 40th minutes of this match. Gave him 4 goals in the first half. Overall, a 5-0 lead through 45 minutes. And then Romuald Lacazette, just before this cooling break, headed home the corner to make it 6. Here in this 3rd edition of Nations League. Remember, an increase from 12 to 16 teams in League A, divided into 2 groups of 6 teams with 4 automatic berths to the quarterfinals. Used to be teams playing to go to the semifinals. The United States, 2-time reigning champions. Now the US, Costa Rica, Canada, and Mexico all the way through automatically into the quarterfinal. Top 2 teams in each of the groups in League A will meet them. 4 quarterfinal winners will qualify for Copa America. And the 4 losers will pair off into a pair of play-in games for the 5th and 6th spots allocated to Concacaf in Copa America. If you're in League B or League C for this edition, you're not playing for any sort of qualifying. You can't get to Copa America. Gold Cup qualifying not yet on the line. That'll come in next year's tournament. But what you are playing for is a chance to get promoted and perhaps have an easier path in the Gold Cup qualification come next year. Here in League C Group A, Anguilla, St. Martin, Bonaire. None of that team trio ever made it into League B. All 3 have only exclusively played in League C. So it'll be a first-time promotion from somebody in this group. Down back behind the play, whistle blows. Jalen Segor will just step on it and stop it. That's Vershawn Hodge, who's down. 29-year-old making his return to the Anguilla national team after 8 years away. Today marks his first appearance since a 2015 World Cup qualifier. Lawrence in goal, 40 years old. Luke Paris at center back, 28 years old. Kyan Duncan in the midfield, 23 years old. Jamal Richardson on the left wing, 29. Vershawn Hodge on the left wing, 29. Your only players in the starting 11 today for Anguilla who are aged 20 or more. 9 teenagers in all now. I've seen the field for Anguilla. And Vershawn Hodge, looks like they just gave the substitution signal over to the bench. So if he's unfit to continue, could see a 10th teenager come on. A very young bench full of players waiting to make their debut for Anguilla. David Chevalier comes off now for St. Martin. They've used all 5 of their subs. Danilo Cox takes his place.
Substitution for Team St. Martin in the 78th minute. Leaving the game, player number 14, David Chevalier. Entering the game, player number 21, Danilo Cox.
Card issued for Guishard McDonald Baptiste.
Ladies and gentlemen, a yellow card was issued to player number 7 of Anguilla, Raymond McDonald Baptiste.
Travaille jusqu'au bout, on est sérieux. J'entends plus personne.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Substitution for Team Anguilla in the 79th minute. Leaving the game, player number 17, Guishard Hodge. Entering the game, player number 20, Alec Moore.
Alec Moore replaced Vershawn Hodge for Anguilla. So another teenager, 10 now, who have played today for Anguilla. The 17-year-old Moore makes his senior debut. Had played for the U20s in the Concacaf Under-20 Championship qualifying round 2 years ago. Segor. That through for Raga, who has 4 goals already. Nice turn past Paris. Axel Raga go no further. Lays it back now for Belchase toward the back post and out for a goal kick.
Come on, let's go.
Segor from Cox. Ahead to Belchase. Belchase looking over the top. Jeremy Peterson couldn't handle it. Getting into it a little bit here with Javis Jones. Keep an eye on that. Yellow given to Tony Chance.
Ladies and gentlemen, the yellow card issued to player number 18, Tony Chance of Team St. Martin.
Segor. Final 7.5 minutes of play here from Anguilla. Old St. Martin today have certainly eased off in the late stages of this second half. Only 1 goal in this second half after 5 in the first 45. Out shooting Anguilla 12-2. Possession at halftime was exactly where it is now, 66-34. Raga had to come back for it, couldn't quite win it. For St. Martin, this will be their first win in Nations League since the 2019-2020 edition. Remember, they were 0-2-2 in the most recent edition of Nations League. For group they were in, group with St. Kitts and Nevis and Aruba. This will be their first victory in any competition since November 19th, 2019. That was a 2-1 win over the U.S. Virgin Islands. Since then, a steady diet of competitive draws and losses for St. Martin, but a new chapter now with a number of players debuting today. 6 in all in the starting 11 debuted for St. Martin. 5 dual Nats who have made the choice to play for St. Martin. Among them, so many talented players who have played at some of the highest levels in Europe. Alex Raga, who has the 4 goals today, scored 11 goals in his 25 appearances in France this past year. Stanley Segarel has been in the 5th tier of French football in the last 2 years, 21 goals in 40 games. He scored today. Kylian Lebaum, playing in Azerbaijan, helped carry that team through a couple of rounds of UEFA Conference League qualifying. He had an impact today. This one played ahead to Danilo Cox. He's denied by Lawrence. Cox almost made it 7 for St. Martin, and again, it won't have an impact on this game, but it could further help the goal difference, knowing that Bonaire is lurking as the top-ranked team in this group. For Anguilla, the struggles will continue in terms of results. Went winless, 0-4 in the first go at things in Nations League, Anguilla. 0-2-2 in the last edition. To go all the way back now to 2010 in Caribbean Cup qualifying. Last time Anguilla had a win in a competitive match that came against St. Martin, actually, 2-1 in that Caribbean Cup qualifier. Teams met in a friendly in 2022. That was a 2-1 win for Anguilla. Some physical play late here, with just moments remaining. And the yellow card will be shown. Goes to Kane Connor. Getting closer, a month away now. It's been 13 years since Anguilla's last win in a competitive match. 207th out of 208 in FIFA, but they are trying to build something new. That's why you get some results like today. They played 10 teenagers overall after starting 6 of them. Among the 6 starters, only 5 combined caps among those teenagers, so not even experienced teenagers who might have already had a taste of this level. Free kick sent in, but wide. And then when you go even further into the bench for Anguilla, of the players who were available, only 2 had previously appeared. One being Delaney Francis, the 17-year-old who debuted earlier this year. And the other being Calvin Morgan, the 28-year-old who was the lone player available on the roster today for Anguilla, who had scored a goal for his country. So it's a complete new look roster. Their first goal of it today. Some moments within there to build upon, especially at the end of the first half, when you had the 19-year-old Kane Connor dribble past three. St. Martin defenders feed it through for Mackay Connor, 15-year-old who maybe should have scored but was denied. Terrific save by Jordan Etienne of St. Martin, the only save he's had to make today. So some bright moments in there for Anguilla. A lot more to chew off and learn from, though. Here's Raga centering it. Some danger again for St. Martin.
Ladies and gentlemen, the fourth official on the sideline has indicated that there will be a minimum of 4 minutes of added time in the second half.
Four minutes tacked on at the end. Star of the day was Axel Raga for St. Martin with 4 goals in his debut. In the length of the field out to Chase. Lawrence almost came out of his area. Played over the top into space for Smines, headed away by Etienne. Offside flag came up. There's 6 more games to turn to today. Here in the opening day of play in the 3rd edition of Concacaf Nations League. 3 matches taking place in League A. You have a Group A matchup between Panama and Martinique, who just met at the Gold Cup, mind you. That one a recent meeting we saw in another competition. Trinidad and Tobago against Curacao, also in Group A. And then Guatemala against El Salvador in Group A. So all Group A teams in action today in League A. A chance brewing here for St. Martin. Lawrence makes the stop on Belchase. In League B, St. Martin will take on St. Lucia. In Group A, as is St. Kitts and Nevis against Guadeloupe in Group A. A really tough group there. Guadeloupe showed out well in the last edition and in Gold Cup. St. Martin just gained promotion in the last edition of Nations League, as did St. Lucia. So two of the promoted teams are grouped in together. Pardon me, all three of the promoted teams all grouped together there in League B, Group A. St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, St. Martin all just got promoted to League B. All grouped in with Guadeloupe. Very interesting group there. That begins tonight. And then one more match to be played in League C on the day. That'll do it for the opening match of the 2023-2024 Concacaf Nations League. St. Martin 6, Anguilla 0. A terrific start for St. Martin on the road. And 4 days from now, they will take on Bonaire, the third member of this group. Axel Raga, the star, he scored 4, and St. Martin wins it 6-0. A well-earned 3 points for the visitors.
Please arrive home safely.
The 2023-2024 Concacaf Nations League third edition of this tournament. And St. Martin punctuated it with 3 big points on 4 big goals by Axel Raga, who was to start today. This one came early in the 6th minute. He got his first goal in his debut and put St. Martin ahead 1-0. Have to wait a little bit longer to get his next goal. It'd be Stanley Segarel in his debut, scoring the second. Came in the 25th minute, and that's where the onslaught started. This goal marked a stretch for St. Martin when they scored 4 goals in 15 minutes. In the 32nd minute here, Raga gets on the end of it again. That made it 3. Gave him his second. Within that, 2 assists today for Wilfred Dalma, this being one of them. And then at the other end of it, Raga taps it in. The ball through from David Chevalier. That gave him his hat trick, and then 2 minutes later, he would score his 4th on the day, fed in alone by Babel. And snuck it near post past Jelani Lawrence. A well-textured ball forward from Babel, and a clean finish at the near post. That gave them a 5-0 lead going into the half, and they would ease things up a bit in the second half. To be fair, Anguilla saw more of the ball and improved drastically from half 1 to half 2. That's what you'd expect from a young team who will continue to get better and better with each half of play. Because of that, St. Martin only limited to 1 goal in the second half. And it came here from the corner. Lacazette, the header. On the cross from the corner by the substitute, Yannick Belchase. Belchase, one of the leading goal scorers in their last Nations League endeavor. He had 4 goals. This time he gets on the board with an assist. And Jelani Lawrence, a big save late on Danilo Cox to keep it 6-0. From the free kick, Bell chase couldn't quite hit target. Some more opportunities late created by Raga, who had his 4 goals, nearly an own goal generated here. Travis Jones cleared it over the bar. And that would do it, a 6-0 victory for St. Martin on the road in Anguilla. And that'll do it for us from Raymond Guishard Stadium in Anguilla. Still 6 more matches to be played the remainder of the night on the opening day of the 2023-2024 Concacaf Nations League. For the crew that makes this possible, I'm Joe Malva saying so long from Anguilla, and stay tuned for more action in Concacaf Nations League.